If you're making videos, the one thing that you need is editing software. It can be hard though. Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and Sony Vegas, all of those, they're all quite expensive. But the free alternatives like Movie Maker and iMovie sometimes just don't deliver the same complexity as those paid softwares. But today I'll be showing you free editing software that I found that does the job quite well, and some could argue is even better than Premiere Pro because it's simpler to use. The great thing about this is it's open source. It's available on Mac, Windows, and Linux. The name of the video editing software is Shotcut. I'll have links where you can download this in the description of the video. Okay, so this program will work on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So to download it, it's quite simple. Just go onto your preferred web browser and then just type up Shotcut. Once you click on the first link, I'll have the link in the description. And then hit click to download. You'll have a 64-bit installer for Windows 7 or higher, 64-bit portable, so that means you won't need administrator, it'll come in a zip file. 32-bit installs, and then 32-bit zip file. It has Mac and Linux here as well. But since I'm on a Windows, I have to do the Windows tutorial. So 64-bit Windows installer is what most of you will probably be using and what I'm using. Now, depending on your internet speed, it can vary in times. This is quite slow because it's going through a TP-Link, so it does say 1 to 2 hours remaining, which 1 to 2 hours is a huge gap, so that just proves how bad the predictions are. So yeah, it might be done. See, now it's saying 30 minutes, but yeah, it's not a particularly large file, it's only 180 megabytes. Okay, so once you have downloaded Shotcut and you have double clicked on it to open it, it should open up with the administration box. But I find that there's a strange glitch that you kind of need to go to your desktop and then go back and then it will appear. So yeah, just hit yes, I agree. And yeah, the default location is usually fine, but however, I'm going to put it on the D drive because there's more room. The C drive is reserved for programs that need to be booted up fast because it's an SSD. So D drive. I'll just name it Shotcut Video Editor. Hit OK. Next. These are your installation options. And once you hit install, I like to go show details just so you can understand what's happening, although I'm not sure that you'll be able to read that. And yeah, just wait for it to load. And then it doesn't automatically exit it, it just says completed at the end here, or it'll say completed up there, so you have to manually close it. Which means that the first time I installed this and I hit install then just walked off, yeah, I didn't realize that it would do that. So anyway, so yeah, it should be installed now. So recently added Shotcut is there. So you're going to be greeted with a blank screen. So if you're new to Shotcut, this might be a bit confusing. But basically, all you have to do is just click on all of these to add in all the features. And then after you've done that, it should appear there the next time you open the program. And also, occasionally when you open the program, there'll be an update thing here. So if you click there, it will see if there's a later version. As you can see, I'm running the latest version. So to open your files, just hit open file, or you could also just drag and drop them. This can be used to open the Shotcut files, or it can also be used to open your media files that you're going to use. Okay, so locate your video files. I'm just going to use some other footage that I took of the screen. Get all the ones you want and then open. If you want to drag and drop, simply just do the same thing. But what I tend to do is actually line up so that little white line under there shows, and then if you just drop it in, that should work. So yeah, and then you're probably thinking, well, how do I actually put it into the timeline and start editing it? It's much the same as Premiere. You just drag and drop into the timeline, and then it'll create that sequence. So I'll just go ahead and zoom out so you can see the whole thing. And as far as editing as well, it's like most other editing software. So if you drag in the corners, then you can cut the corners. As simple as that. Drag in that corner, drag that backwards. If you want to make a cut, just press S. Go to somewhere else, press S again. Make sure you have the part that you want to take out selected. And then once you press X, not only will it delete it, but it'll also get this footage and then put it in line with your last footage. So therefore, there's a hard cut from there to there. If you want to add other videos, just drag it onto there and then drag it down onto here. And then you have your other video so that as soon as it plays, hit open file, or you could also just drag and drop them. It will automatically skip to there. So over here on the tools, you have cut, copy, paste. You can add a video, so basically it's adding that video to your timeline. In case you don't want to drag and drop it there, you can just press that. You can take a video away, so say I have that selected, and press that, it'll just delete that. Now, this here is lift. So basically what that means is when you delete it, instead of making it so this one will go over and go back to there, it will just delete it, then it will leave everything in the exact same place. So if I click that, that means there will just be this empty space and it'll just play a black screen. But if I click this down arrow, it will put back the video that I put there before. I'm just going to go ahead and hit Control Z so I have it back to where I was before. Now, if you're wondering how to add effects, how to add titles, how to do color grading, contrast, crop, all of that, it's actually super simple. They've integrated pretty much everything into this filters tab. So all I have to do is just go here and it'll go up to your most used filters. And you have some basic things like brightness, color grading, contrast, fade in, fade out, your volume / gain, mute, and overlay HTML, rotate, or white balance. So that's your basic features that you have there. Now onto the videos tab, you have basically everything to do with videos. So down towards the bottom, I don't like the way they've ordered this because I find that things like text is what I use most. So that should be at the top. And you can't rearrange it. You can't rearrange it. So yeah, you have a whole stack of features here. So if I want to add text, you have that. So let's just write something like okay, so I have typed up, hang on. So I typed up something here, and to actually edit your text, you do not click on the text here, you click on it over here. And then I'm going to add an outline, there's the thickness there, and then to move it around, just drag in the corners, and when you're moving it, make sure you hit the make sure you go to the middle where that little round thing is, and then you can position it to wherever you want. You can use whatever font you want. So I'm just going to use Calibri, which is a pretty standard font. Like most things use it, like Word uses it and all that. So it's nothing special. But yeah, you can choose with a variety of fonts and all that. If you want to add like effects around the video as well, there's things like a vignette. You can change the radius and then the feathering, and even the contrast or the opacity. Or even the opacity, so you can see how bright it is. So I'll just leave it like that. Also, color grading will be a fairly well used feature. So the color grading in this, they've made it quite simple. So under color grading, you have a variety of features. So I'm gonna make it sort of look slightly green, not overpowering, but just a bit green. And yeah, so that was some pretty basic color grading, but color grading can be very advanced. A lot of videos you see on YouTube that are done professionally almost always have color grading, and it really does create a better effect in your videos. There's contrast if you want to separate the blacks and the whites. See how if I do that, it's very like limited in its colors. However, if I go like that, it's very flat almost. Gain and volume, that just adjusts your volume, and mute just mutes it. So surprisingly, the gain and volume, no matter how far you actually bring it down, there might still be some noise. So if you just mute it, that will just take out the audio, full stop. A cool feature in this is quite easy to do is 3D text, which is a good effect if you want to make a cool 3D logo without messing around with too many features. But since it is 3D, it might take some time for it to load. As you can see, it's stopped responding, which is a bit strange. Never does this. But, oh, okay. My timeline has separated. Oh no, here it is. That's oddly strange. So because this is an open source program, it's constantly receiving updates, like maybe every 2 weeks. And that means that it's basically, there's always glitches like this that they're constantly patching. So I guess that's what you get for not paying anything. So I don't know if this is related to it being open source and maybe not, maybe it being a glitch or something like that. But yeah, it wouldn't usually do this.
A few moments later.
Anyway, so as I was saying, you can add 3D logos. So because I had to force shut down the program, some things didn't save, so I have to re-put all of these stuff in here. Not big of a deal, not too much of a big of a deal. Yeah, so yeah, I'll try applying the 3D text to a different video that doesn't have any filters on it, since that does already have text on it, and yeah, I don't see how that would make a difference, but I just figured maybe it's easier for it to handle. So if I hit 3D text, there you have it, there's 3D text up there. So yeah, let's write Shotcut tutorial again. And there you have it. And instead of adjusting the size and all that through dragging it inwards on there, you have to actually adjust these. So yeah, so you can adjust the depth, or basically the extrusion if you're used to something like Inventor or Photoshop. So I want it fairly shallow. Don't want to be too intrusive. You can adjust the tilt, so like how tilted it is. So say you want it to lie on top of something, you can do that. I'm just going to have it like that probably. You can change the x-axis and the y-axis. Then you have options here. And you do not have a wide variety of fonts, but I guess it being 3D, you won't have a lot. So it's on Droid Sans at the moment. If I go Droid Surf, you can see there's a different style of font, sort of similar to Times New Roman. There's that, which is similar to Droid Surf. There's that, which is a very basic font, sort of similar to Arial. And then there's that. So I'd usually just leave it as default. But as you can see, that's a pretty cool feature that you can do quite simply. There's simple effects like fade in, fade out video. As for advanced effects, like maybe if you want like curtain effects to happen, like I know there's that type of effect on PowerPoint and stuff. I don't think it has that. Maybe in an upcoming update it may. So if I just add fade in video, when you go from here to here, it fades in. You can adjust the duration and simple stuff like that. But the great thing about this as well, that things like Movie Maker don't actually have, is the 3D layering of videos. There's a technical word for it, but I don't really want to get technical. So if I click on the little hamburger menu here and hit add a video track, it will add video tracks. I've already added a video track there, so I'll just... Are you kidding me? Wow. So it's great that it also saves autosaves, so I can do that. But yeah, I'll just drag that up by hitting those dots up there. And yeah, I'll put a video up onto the second video, and that means it'll play both the videos at once. So if you're new to Shotcut, this might be a bit confusing. But with this one, say with the fade effect, you don't want to fade it with black. You actually want to fade it with transparency. So the first video fades into the second video. Well, if you open up your filters tab and go into the fade in video, there'll be this box here that says adjust opacity instead of fade with black. If I tick that, then it will adjust the fade with opacity. If you're new to Shotcut, this might be a bit confusing. Like that. Now say you want a webcam in the corner. If you add a filter onto here called reposition or something like that. Let me just find it. Size and position, here. And then you just drag out the corners, put it in the corner like that. So if you're new to Shotcut, this might be a bit confusing. And then you have a video in the corner. If you want to add a crossfade, so video fading into another video without it being advanced by putting the video on top, You just want it to be on the one video track. If you drag one video over the top of the other video, just like that,
Which means
you'll have a
first time I installed this
crossover.
and I hit installed and just walked off. Yeah, I didn't realize that it would do that. So
yeah. So if you couldn't notice already, this is footage from this video. So yeah, here are some pretty basic features of Shotcut. It's a program that is quite simple because everything is sort of under the filters tab. One thing that isn't under the filters tab that you might expect to be under the filters tab is the speed. That is actually under the properties tab. So under the properties, it'll, yes, display all the properties of the video. It'll have the speed, the duration of it. It'll have the video tab, the audio tab, the metadata. But yeah, so I can adjust the speed. So say you want a time-lapse effect or you just want to speed up one part, you can do that. Let's just set it to maybe 6. That'll be much shorter. Now, because it's shortened, that also means that the audio will be a higher pitch. So just watch out for that. Yes, as you can see, it's a much higher pitch. Another feature you might find helpful is right here, this little magnet. That means that basically, when you're moving clips, that it will snap to areas. When I have that off, that means that it's free to move out wherever it goes. It won't snap to the playhead. It won't snap to the other video, unless it glitches like it just did just then. But if I have the magnet ticks like that, that means it'll snap to the playhead, and then it will snap to there. So yeah, Shotcut is a pretty useful yet simple program to use because everything is pretty much in the same place. I'll have links to where you can download it in the description below. And also, this is being recorded on my brother's newly built computer. I have a PC build video that will be in the top right corner if you want to check it out on the info card. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like. If you're new to the channel, I'll have a video here that you can come check out. Wait. One last thing I forgot to do is how to export it, which is another thing that's quite simple. And one annoying thing is that there is no H.264. The most common video codec is not there. But if you leave it as default, I mean, most things support it. If you want to upload to YouTube, that'll support it. So yeah, once you have everything set like 1920 by 1080, your aspect ratio, frames per second, and all of that, and if you just hit export file, you're probably thinking, wait, where do I put it? If you just hit export file, it'll ask you where to put it. So I just have it says video.mp4 because quite honestly I can't think of any other names. And if I just hit save, it'll have the percentage up here. So because this is a fast computer, a 1080p video at 60 frames per second is actually going quite fast. This computer has a GTX 1070 ROG Strix. It has an Asus Prime Z270A motherboard and a Intel Core i5, I think it's 7600K? Yeah, so it's considerably fast. Not the fastest out there, but it is quite a fast computer. Also, the graphics card isn't really a workstation graphics card, it's a gaming graphics card. So it won't be as fast exporting video as some other graphics cards, but it's still considerably fast. If I turn this up, you can hear how hard the computer's working. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but it's quite loud. Okay, it's finished now, and one quick thing is when I adjusted the volume on my mixer just then, I don't know if I put it back in the right spot, so if it's a bit quieter or a bit louder, just like, sorry. Yeah. So yeah. This is the video here.
To open it, should open up with the admin.
That's all good. And yeah, so another good thing about Shotcut is the file support. It can support up to 4K, and the file support of like videos you can import is very high. It can, I'm pretty sure it can support FLV, which is the default for OBS, which is a fairly uncommon video format. So if somebody's using OBS and they don't know how to switch it to MP4, which I'm sure most of you probably would do that, and you say maybe import it to Premiere and it doesn't support it, Shotcut is great because it has a wide variety of file support. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like. If you're new to the channel, I'll have a video here that you can come check out. And as always, see you in the next video.